Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of our JK cast with Justin and Keely. This is episode number 7.
7.
How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm also doing well. This is the first episode that we have actually recorded
In the new year?
in the new year. I mean, it's currently, what is it? The 19th of January. But this is the
19th?
first...
Great day.
This is the first time we've recorded in the new year.
For the podcast.
Yeah. So, with the new year, one big thing comes up.
Resolution.
Yes, New Year's resolutions.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was just wondering if you knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, I feel like I know you pretty well.
We talked about it earlier.
It's been long enough.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Rude.
Do you have any resolutions?
I mean, we started a diet. We didn't really start it on the new year because we were in town.
Yeah.
But it was when we got back. So yeah, we started a diet. I want to take all of my pills consistently.
Like pills for asthma and vitamins.
Yeah, I want to do that consistently.
Okay.
I'm pretty good about asthma, because I don't breathe if I don't take them. But vitamins, I often forget. And then I'm just exhausted all the time.
Yeah, because you've had vitamin deficient since I've known you. You've
had like vitamin D.
In college you had vitamin D, and then you started taking vitamin D supplements, and that got up. And then recently it's like B12.
Yeah, B12 and D.
And D? Oh
yeah.
My God.
I'm inside a lot. I work a lot.
You do.
Yeah.
So those fluorescent lights.
I know.
See, I don't have that problem. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I don't go to the doctor and find out.
Well, I'm tired all the time. I need something. But yeah. I started taking those Ollie gummies for the vitamins.
Mm-hmm. Those are
just
delicious.
So yummy.
Yeah.
It's like a little encouragement to take your vitamin.
Yeah, because I've for my like you said, we're not doing like a diet like like Atkins or keto or whatever. We're just like
just trying to eat
healthier, not eat out fast food as much. For me, it's a lot of portion control.
Yes,
that's so difficult.
I know. I don't know why. That's your big problem. Is moderation.
Well, I mean, it's just like, because you and me are different when it comes to eating, where like you eat a lot. Like, say we go to a fast food restaurant, you eat a lot, you feel gross. You're like, oh, it's so greasy, whatever.
Yeah, I just don't like feeling full.
Yeah,
I like feeling like I'm not hungry, but if I'm too full, it's just gross.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. Like, I eat a lot, and it just feels so nice and warm, and like it's like I'm getting a hug from my insides. Like,
Yeah, like all the cholesterol is wrapped around your arteries.
Yeah,
and they're just getting closer together.
Nice and tight, nice and warm.
So nice.
Yeah,
everyone's just all bundled in.
Oh yeah, because those were like my big nights when you were like, whatever, you were away for the night or whatever, doing whatever, or you're like, oh, I'm not going to be back until like 1 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
My big thing would be like, oh, I'm going to go to like Sonic and I'm going to get like mozzarella
everything
sticks.
I want off the menu.
Yeah, I'm going to get everything.
You do this thing where it's just like, anytime we go to a fast food restaurant, you order like the restaurant is closing and it's the last time you can ever get any of these items.
Well, it's just like
but we used to go eat fast food like every night. So you're doing that every night.
Yeah, that part of my life, that was terrible.
Yeah, it was not good.
But like that's the thing.
It's like, remember going to McDonald's and getting like 10 cheeseburgers?
I did not get 10 cheeseburgers. There's no way I ever did that.
No, like we would, I think for both of us.
Oh, for both of us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that happened.
It would be like 10 plain cheeseburgers.
Oh, man.
Do you remember how many times they didn't put cheese on them?
It's the most upsetting thing when, like, you know, if you get one thing and they get the order wrong, it's like, oh man. But if you get like a lot of the same thing
Yeah.
and they get it wrong,
And they had just like
It's-
changed
and-
the quantity.
and
And a lot of times it would say cheeseburger
then
and
they
then
wouldn't have
minus cheese.
Yeah.
Like it would say that on the receipt. Like I said plain cheeseburger and they're like, oh,
but
okay.
one of the big things I don't like about like when I get like a burger or something and they get it wrong, it's not that it's missing cheese, it's that they put like ketchup or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
like ketchup at a lot of places just because ketchup recently, I don't know if it's me tasting like in the past years or whatever, it's gotten really sweet and it's
It
just
is
not
really
the same.
sweet.
There are places where I'll still get ketchup, like Whataburger. Their
Yeah,
ketchup
of
is
course.
fantastic, but some places, ugh, it's so sweet and it ruins it.
Mm-hmm.
But Brahms, they have the bag of burgers.
Oh, they're so good.
$5,
We used to get
5
those.
burgers
Well, our second apartment was so close
to
to
Brahms. Oh
Brahms.
yeah.
We'd never been that close to a Brahms before.
hmm Now the closest Brahms is I went to it once, and
It's like 3 miles away.
yeah, but it was in a place that I had never been before. Like a lot of the restaurants are, you know, on like a major road or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what road it was on, but whatever.
You know the road, but whatever, it's fine. It was a part of the road you had not gone to before. And
Yeah,
it was called
well,
something different
Oh,
because
okay.
it went to a different part of town.
different road. Yeah, so that's my big thing is portion control. Or just because like that's what it takes for me to be full, to feel the fullness that I want to feel. Is that
You're
amount of food?
a large person.
I know.
So, I mean, yeah, I get it, but
Yeah, but that I know. So I've been doing good this year.
you've been doing really good.
Yeah.
You started journaling.
Yeah,
Do you think that
that's
helps?
I do, and because I've tried to do another big thing for me is not eating sugar, or
Mhm.
I do still eat sugar, but I'm not eating like sweets. I'm not eating candy or
Yeah.
cakes or whatever, because that was another big thing. Was like me
Like you needed to have something sweet.
Yeah, like if you're out there and you've ever eaten dinner and then you in your mind you're like, now I need something sweet. You're addicted to sugar,
Mm-hmm.
and it for me it was like really bad and just terrible. The amount of sugar I could just eat, and it got to the point where like I honestly felt like I slept better if I ate a good amount of sugar before I went to bed.
You're like becoming Stan Smith. You like
Oh,
shove
the-
chocolate cake into your mouth before you go to sleep
Ugh.
every night.
Yeah,
Gross.
yeah, and then I mean, bad for your health, bad for your teeth. It's just so I've gone in my life in the recent years, I've gone through like phases of like, oh, I got to stop eating sugar. I'm gonna start eating right, and I do well and whatever. You know, same thing, working out, whatever. I do well, and then I always fall off like the wagon,
Right.
just because it's like it's difficult to do, but also when like I'm doing so many other things, like earlier we were talking about like how, or yesterday really we were talking, you know, I had to stay late at work, and then I got home and I was like, okay, now I have to take care of the dogs and, you know, make sure they go to the bathroom and whatnot, feed them dinner.
Yeah.
And then
And
that's
there's like
a good amount of
random
time.
errands you still need to do. You want to go to the gym.
Yeah, then I want to, you know, I have to get ready. I want to go to the gym, whatever. And then I couldn't go to the gym yesterday because I was like, I needed to edit a video or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I just don't have time. And I also needed to cook.
Right. You didn't have any.
I didn't have any food because you know, a big thing that I do when I'm doing, you know, trying to lose weight, whatever, is like make meals. So I'm like, I already have that food, so I can't use like, oh, I don't want to cook as an excuse.
Yeah.
So I'll like one night I'll make like 3 nights worth of dinners or whatever, and then I'll eat those. And yesterday just happened to be a day that I needed to cook. And I couldn't, or I did, but like, it means I didn't have time for other things.
Right.
Which sucks. But yeah, I think doing, you were asking about the journaling.
Mm-hmm.
I think in previous times, previous years that or whatever, that I've tried to, meal prep, constantly work out, whatever. And I really got going in 2020. I really had, for like a good amount of time,
for a while, yeah.
Like 3 months straight, I was working out like basically 6 times a week. I was eating good, whatever. I looked great, or I felt like I felt great. I looked better, but I couldn't keep it up just because I was working from home. There was times where I was like 3 weeks without leaving the house, and it was terrible. But the journaling has helped because it's kept me motivated and
like accountable.
That's the word I'm looking for. Like, because I can't go in there and write, in my journal, I'll write like, oh,
I did shit today.
Yeah, like, so I went to the gym. I was able to, like, work out my chest and back, and I ate right, and I didn't snack or anything. I ate within the time period that I'm trying to eat. This is my current weight, whatever, and I get to actually write that down as if I, but like yesterday, I wasn't able to make it to the gym, and I didn't end up working out. I was writing in the journal, like, didn't make it in, and I felt bad. Like, I was almost writing like an apology note to myself.
Yeah, like the journal was being like,
Yeah, and it was like a short entry compared to the rest of them. I was like, damn, I really messed up yesterday. But it was just like circumstances that I couldn't help. I had to, I had to do stuff at work.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Especially, you went back to work recently.
Yeah, I went back into the office.
At the start of the year.
Yeah, at the start of the year. So, I'm no longer working from home. But that's the difference, is like going in, working 8 hours from home and working 8 hours in the office
are so different.
They're so different because
you don't have the time in the morning that you have to get ready. You don't have to worry about getting the dogs all situated because you would just be home if they needed anything. The commute time.
Yeah, the commute time. And one big thing is, like, you this happens to you all the time. You're like, you're about to walk out the door and someone catches you, like, hey, I need help with it. And that might turn into, like, you staying an extra hour.
Exactly. It happens every day.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if you're working from home and you're on, like, a laptop, whatever, oh, it's 5 o'clock. Let me send this email and shut the laptop. And then,
no one can find you.
Yeah. And then,
silence your phone.
Yeah. Or just don't answer calls or whatever. And that it's 8 hours is so much more 8 hours than it is if you're going into an office. Because going into an office, how it looks like for me is, like, I'm waking up at like 6:30 to be at work at 8:30.
Right, because you have to shower, you have to get ready,
take care of the dogs, commute,
make coffee, make breakfast.
Yeah, and then
drink your coffee before you get in the car.
Yeah, because I went a while without drinking coffee because I wanted to see. Last year I went a while without drinking coffee because I wanted to see what not having caffeine, if I could, like, cope better or whatever. I didn't notice too much. I wasn't drinking a ton of caffeine. I was drinking like a cup of coffee a day, maybe. And I didn't notice them, so I went back to drinking coffee recently.
I feel like I go in waves, and I think it's because of our coffee past. Because there was a time when I was opening at Starbucks at 4:30 every morning, and I was working 2 other jobs, so I was not getting sleep. And I would have, like, every morning 4 shots of espresso with, like, some chocolate sauce or whatever.
Right.
And just be like, okay, I'm awake now. And I think near the end of when I was working at Starbucks, last, like, 6 months or so, when I was opening, I started having herbal tea in the morning. Because I was like, I can't have this much caffeine. I need to be able to cope without it. And
yeah, college was rough with the caffeine because working at Starbucks is like, one, we were losing sleep because we had to work,
and you get free drinks,
plus, like, the class loads we had were like, we had to stay up late and to study, to do whatever, and it was terrible. I mean, the amount of caffeine we were drinking. I remember one time, because, like, caffeine's measured in milligrams. And doctors say you can have like 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. But I remember at one day, it was like around midterms or finals or something. I think it was around OChem for me. And I was at work and I had just finished like 5 shots of espresso, and I was like, what? And I was doing math, and I was like, I've had like 2.5 grams of caffeine today. I'm like, that cannot
be okay.
That can't be okay for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went without caffeine, but I recently started drinking coffee again. So I make coffee in the morning for us both, but I like to drink coffee before I leave because
Me too.
One big thing that I'm trying to do for my resolutions. Well, let me list my resolutions real quick.
Okay.
One, yeah, I do want to lose weight because I am overweight. I started working out again, trying to build muscle. I want to take better care of my teeth, just because 2020, same. It was just not good. Like working from home, whatever. Didn't really have the incentive. I mean, the incentive should be that I don't want to lose my teeth. But
you would think.
Yeah. So I want to, brush my teeth, take floss, whatever, take better care of my teeth. And that's why I want to drink the coffee before I leave so I can drink the coffee and then brush my teeth.
Nice.
And then nothing but water. I don't have anything but water until 4 p.m.
Right. You're doing the
intermittent fasting. That seems to be like always the best way for me to, one, portion control, because I can only eat during a certain time, and also
and you do
cut
get
out
heartburn
sugar
and stuff. So if you eat too much all at once,
that was also like a
can't.
big thing. Like when I was eating a lot of fast food, getting heartburn all the time. That sucked. I haven't had heartburn in
a while. Yeah.
A while. I'll get like little ooh, but then it's not like constant. Yeah. But then 3 big things for me is this year. Three big goals. Not like weight loss, not whatever. Weight loss ties into them. One, I want to be able to do a pull-up. I don't think I've ever been able to do a pull-up. Like it was either like I was too weak when I was younger, and then I grew and I got really tall and lanky. And
then you weren't strong enough.
And then I wasn't strong enough, and like my arms were too long and whatnot. And then I got to the point to where I was too heavy with what I am now. And so I do need to lose weight and build muscle to be able to do that pull-up. So I want to be able to do that. Another thing is I want to be able to dunk a basketball.
I feel like that is a harder one.
You think?
I just think you have to work on your vertical. And
yeah, I
that's
do.
not something that just happens.
Well, yeah, I have to work on my vertical. But as of right now, what irks me about it is like I'm close. Like,
are you still that close though? Have you tried in a while?
Yeah, when we played basketball with our friend Aaron.
When was that? How many months ago?
That many months ago.
It was a while ago because that was the night I bought our tickets to the trip we just took.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like
a while ago.
I wasn't in a different body then.
Okay. My bad.
But I can jump and touch the rim.
Okay, so you're like a couple inches away.
Yeah, so I need to do my vertical a little more. So that's what I'm more. And one reason why I want to do that this year, and this other one, also that one, I want to be able to do a backflip. I used to be able to do a backflip when I was a kid. I can't now. I haven't attempted to do a backflip since I got tall. Yeah. So that's kind of the big thing, and I don't want to try it at this weight without like at least exercising a ton more. But those two, dunking the basketball and losing weight, is like because I feel like time is fleeting. I feel like you're not.
You're so dramatic.
Well, I'm about to turn 24 soon. About to be my mid-20s. I feel older. I feel like my youth is going away.
I still feel so young.
I definitely do feel young. Like in terms of like social interaction, when I see like an adult, like a 40-year-old, I'm also an adult. Like I work with like people that are 30, 40 years older than I am. And we're like on the same level in the company. But like me, I feel like such like a high schooler when I'm like talking to people. Not maybe not in a work sense, but like just out and about in the world. I'm like, that's an adult. And I still in my head, I think I'm like, oh, what am I going to look like when I'm all grown? This is it. This is what I look like. I am grown.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, but then there are times where I'm like, in terms of health wise, I'm like, oh man, I'm old. I can feel it, and it's just. What really gets me is that, like, I watch a lot of sports, and there's so many players that are like, oh, look, this player did this and this and this. I think I want to say Josh Allen, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
There's 4 teams left in the NFL right now.
He always just says, like, random sports players. And it just expects me to know who they are, like, on teams that I've never even followed before.
Okay, well, he was born in '96.
You're like, Josh Allen. You know? Oh, he's not on the Cowboys? Why on earth would I know who that is? Ridiculous.
Okay, fine. Luka Doncic.
Yeah, okay.
He is 21.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He just he has enough he has more career triple doubles than Michael Jordan ever had.
Well, of course, Michael Jordan's career is so short.
Michael Jordan, his career was like 10 years. But he also didn't have a lot. It was like 23 or something.
Well, the game was different.
Okay, don't defend Jordan.
I'm not defending Jordan. I'm saying they play the game differently. I feel like not a lot of people had triple-doubles then. They weren't going for skill shots as much.
Oscar Robinson. He leads the league in all-time triple-doubles.
Well, then maybe we need to start talking about Oscar Robinson because I never heard him before.
Okay, anyway, he's 21, and I see what he is accomplishing physically, and I'm like, oh, I'm so old. I'm like, oh, shit.
I know. Luka's so crazy.
I know.
I love Luka.
So that's where I'm at, headspace-wise, for my New Year's resolutions.
You just, like, watch Luka play basketball, like, multiple times a week and are building, like, this inferiority complex about your physical accomplishments?
Well, it's just like, yeah, just because he's younger. Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, because I'll do it with anything. I'll do it with, I'll watch a movie. Lead actor will be like 20.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a singer. And I'm like, wow, like, where's my life? Which sucks because, like, I've done a lot with my life. I mean, not a lot, but, like, I went to high school, I went to college, I got a degree, I got a job, and, like, that's as far as my life went.
Has gone so far.
And I didn't take
only
space.
Been like a year and a half since then.
Yeah, I didn't take any space in between all those things.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are like, wow, that's crazy. I wish I could have done that, Right. I'm 25 and I haven't graduated college or whatever. But I guess that's how it always is you're always, always looking up.
Yep. I always feel so young because I'm by far the youngest person at work.
Mm.
And we ended up hiring in a new person, and they were still like a year older than me.
That's crazy.
I know. And I interviewed them.
That is weird.
It was so weird. I thought they were younger. And then we were like talking about something at work, and I realized I was like, oh no. And I was like, what year were you born? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely the baby at work. And so I always just feel young. But it is weird thinking that I started working at the company when I was 21.
Right.
I tell the guys there that, and they're all like, what?
Yeah.
No way. 21? Could you drink? And I'm like, what? Yes.
Yes. What? That's what the age
like,
is.
you came to happy hour with us. Was that legal? I'm like, yeah, you're fine.
I was 21.
Yeah. It's really funny.
Yeah. I'll work with people and they'll be like, where were you born? Or like they'll like have some media reference or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not laughing. Like, I'm like, no, I don't know. They're like, oh, it's from this and this, and it's like from '93. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was born in '97, and they're like, my kid's older than you. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he probably is. Y'all are very close to retirement.
Yeah, you need to retire.
Yeah, the media references will happen all the time. They were like singing songs for some commercial from like the 80s yesterday and all like howling about it. Like they thought it was so funny. And then they looked at me and I was just like shaking my head at them. And they're like, oh, well, Keely doesn't understand. They're like, I can't believe she's never seen that. It's like, it's only from 87. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was negative 10 years old then.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Like, yep. Thanks.
Or they'll talk about like some project they worked on in like 2009 or whatever. And I was like, oh, I was in middle school.
That's what really gets people. It's not like, oh, I was born in 97 or whatever, but they'll like talk about something that they think is kind of
like
recent.
So vivid to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, it was only 10 years ago. And I'm like, that's pretty long.
And I'm like, cool. Well, 10 years ago, I was just going into high school.
Right.
And they're like, excuse me?
Yeah. And so I'll say something like that. And also, like, because some of these projects, are still around. And it's like, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that project started in 2009. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Did you ever think in 2009 that 10 years from now, you'd be working on the same project with someone who was currently in middle school? And they're like, shut up.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah. My least
they
favorite...
don't like that. Don't tell people that.
Yeah. My least favorite thing is when they ask me about something that happened like a while ago. And I was like, no, I was 12 when that happened. I was
9/11.
Like, oh.
We get asked that all the time because I feel like we're on the cusp of not remembering it.
I definitely, I do not.
I don't remember it, but I feel like we were 4.
Yeah. My first memory is sitting in my kindergarten class, cutting out construction paper circles to make the caterpillar from the book Hungry, Hungry Caterpillar. And that's my first memory. And I was 5 then. So I don't remember 9/11.
Yeah. But, we were 4. And a lot of people, and I don't know if a lot of people actually remember it or if they just are told that they remember it.
Yeah.
And so they remember it. But I feel like we're kind of on the cusp of we could have memories at that age. And so everyone just, I don't know, assumes or whatever. But I mean, it's always that thing where it's like, oh, well, like, where were you that day? And it's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I was 4.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what it means to, our society and whatever. I get how impactful it is, but I'm not being disrespectful by saying I don't know where I was.
Yeah,
I was 4 years old. Stop asking me.
There are people that were born after 9/11.
I know.
There are people being born now. You're gonna like go up to a toddler today and be like, "Why don't you remember 9/11?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing about memories when you're like, when you can think about memories when you're a kid, and the reason why I say that memory was my first memory is because I know exactly where I was. I could place myself in my kindergarten classroom. I can picture what it looks like right now. And I'm like, in kindergarten, I was 5. That's how I know that. But there's other memories where, it's just like a memory.
You don't know how old you were.
Yeah, I have no location, no, because I know the location of that memory, I know my age because it was a school. But other than that, like, other memories could be like, I could be 7, but then I'm like, oh, was I 4 then? I don't know, because it's just a memory. It's not. There's no information in it that I can pull an age from.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of memories of being a kid, I guess. It sounds so horrible.
It is hard to like when like you're like, oh, remember stuff from a kid. Like honestly, like if I try to list things right now, I could probably list like 10 memories from my kid.
Yeah.
But like every so often we'll have like a conversation and I'll be like, oh,
I'll come up with something.
this thing that happened to me when I was a kid that I hadn't thought about in so long.
I know, and you're always still mad about something.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's how I go through life. I just
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, I remember now.
I remember that bullshit. I blocked it out. Thanks for bringing it up.
But yeah, I'll have like, I feel like definitely middle school, high school. I have lots of memories, but
Well, those also more recent.
Before then, I don't know. Like I remember soccer, like in general. You know, like I mean, I was a defender, and I was in elementary school, and kids didn't really play positions well. So I remember like standing near my side of the field for a very long time. A lot of cold weekend mornings. I remember that in general, but I couldn't like take out specific specific tournaments or whatever that we played. I just in general know how I felt about it. I remember asking my parents if I could quit soccer in 3rd grade and them telling me no. I remember that very vividly. I think the phrase "you're not a quitter" was used. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
Sounds
sure.
familiar.
I remember my asthma attack.
I do remember having asthma attacks when I was a kid because I mean those are like kind of traumatic in a sense.
Yeah, I remember breaking my elbow.
Ooh.
I remember breaking my finger in an elevator very vividly as well. It's all injuries, I feel like.
Well, yeah, because I mean those are the things that like stick, you know.
Yeah.
But like
those are like the biggies. I remember going to one of my friends from preschool's house.
Friends from preschool? Was this in preschool? Or you met them in preschool?
I met them in preschool. I don't know if I think we were a little older. I can't tell you the age, but I definitely met them in preschool. And we went to their house, and my sister, I think, was babysitting us at their house. And they had like a movie theater in their house. And I was just like, what is this? I remember that. That's like very out of place. I don't know what else we did on that trip at their house. That's all I remember. I was like,
there are always like things that you remember and you're like, this has no significance, but why did I remember this or whatever?
Right.
Yeah. For me though, when high school I can remember pretty vividly, but like what my benchmark is like, can I remember what the inside of my school looked like? And middle school is like when I'm like, not really. I can remember this one hallway.
Really?
But, yeah.
It's sad.
It was the hallway that my Spanish class was on. High school, I think I know the entire school.
Okay.
But middle school, no.
It's weird.
Do you remember your middle school?
Yeah, it's Polk. Yeah, I mean, like it had the foyer. It was a weird kind of architectural design on the front entrance. Had like the foyer, and it had the principal's offices to the left and the cafeteria to the right. And you went, and there's like main stairs that went down.
Okay.
Like the floor you entered on was like the second floor.
You don't have to explain it.
Down to the library, and then I remember it so vividly. I think I can remember.
I see. So that's also something
strange.
Your middle school was multiple floors.
Oh yeah, and we had trailers out back for excess. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I know. It's worse now. I went back when I was in high school because I was in one of the academies that they have at the district, and they like take kids to like go recruit to their middle school to
What?
like show off the academy.
Oh, the academy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was in the biomed academy, so I went to my middle school to like do the presentations. And
I forgot how lame you were.
you're so rude. Anyways, I went to my middle school to do the presentation, and it got so much worse. They like tripled the number of trailers out back. Class sizes were up by like 200%. I remember being in the hallway during a passing period and like feeling like I couldn't like walk anywhere. It was horrible.
Oh, the sheer number of students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It's insane. Yeah. I always hated how they gave you like, oh, you got 4 minutes to get to the class, but like you're walking
You
like
literally can't walk past anybody.
I can't.
Like they had taped on the wall, like they had taped in the hall on the floor.
I like which direction you could walk.
They had it taped in half, and there were arrows taped on like each wall saying this could only go. And they had teachers out there that would like yell at you if you're like walking the wrong way, because if you walk the wrong way, like people couldn't get through because there's just so many people.
Right.
I wonder how they handled COVID, honestly.
That was like
so
a big thing
overpopulated.
when like school was supposed to be starting back up,
Mhm.
and they're like setting all these rules, and it's like, first of all, you have no idea what a high school is like. Second of all these rules, you're asking these high schoolers to behave, high school, middle school, elementary school, whatever, to behave in a way that they've never behaved before.
Right. And you're saying, and they make such a big deal about the classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has to be 6 feet away in every direction, but there's no rules when they're passing the halls.
Yeah. But like even in the classrooms, like I can remember like middle school, elementary school, like some classes I was like, there were, just it was like the 10 feet up at the front of the classroom where like the whiteboard and the projector and the teacher's desk was, and the rest was just desks all the way to the back. I'm like, but we weren't 6 feet apart. We were like, the front of my desk was touching the back of the chair of the kid in front of me, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah. And so I'm like,
where are the other kids
where are the
going?
kids gonna go? How if you space them out?
It's not.
I learned in school that that's not possible.
My French teacher from high school, he's very active on Facebook. He posted pictures of his classroom, what it looks like for all the desks to be 6 feet apart, and he showed, and then he was like, and here are the other half of the desks in the hallway. So they have to have like rope, like taped off sections in the hallway. It's like this belongs to like this classroom.
No, Jesus Christ.
And they have to do all of their Zoom, like they have to do all their teaching from their desk. Like, so the kids are all sitting in their desks, and then they're on Zoom lecturing to the kids that are still at home and to the kids in the class through Zoom. And all the kids are at their desks with headphones in, watching the lecture.
What?
Yes.
That's insane.
I was like, why would you even be there?
Yeah, I would totally be at home.
Yeah.
If I bet it's like a lot of parents don't allow it, which is whatever. I'm not going to get into all that.
Yeah.
But it's been crazy, it's now that we're thinking about what we're going to do this year, like what was it like last year? And honestly, last year was like from mid-March to the end.
We're just at home.
It's such a blur because it's just like, it's all the same. Like today, U.S. just hit 400,000 COVID deaths. An insane number.
Right.
And, I remember, we're coming up on a year since my first memory of like, because like everybody's like, oh, it's been this many days in lockdown, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at least for us, being in Texas, like when did lockdown start? When did it ever?
I mean, no, not really.
Exactly. So like that was always
couldn't eat in restaurants, but I wouldn't call that a lockdown.
Yeah, and things like that. But how I judge it is,
I guess like gym. Yeah, there were certain businesses that had to be closed and were deeply affected, but people still went out.
Yeah.
And
Because I remember when it was like first happening, I was like, oh, I'm like, what? I have to drive to work. Am I gonna get pulled over when I'm
Yeah.
driving to work because I'm not supposed to be out?
Yeah, they gave us. I think Texas was that intense for like 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
then it stopped. But I remember our work gave us like letters or something to show police if we were pulled over that said we were essential workers.
Yeah.
And that like we had to go to work. And so yeah, it was so strange though. I printed it off and I was like so scared I was gonna get pulled over for no reason. And
Yeah.
I never was.
Yeah.
Because how are you gonna prove that? You're like, because I mean, people working in grocery stores, you know, are essential workers. They still have to go to work. You're still allowed to drive to get groceries, right? You're still allowed to drive to go pick up to-go food from a restaurant. You know, it's just like...
Yeah, it was never like...
You have to be in your house.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like... I remember when like the park in our neighborhood was closed to all the children. And like I remember driving past it and like kids still being there, but there were like signs up and whatnot. Eventually those signs came down.
Mm-hmm.
But how I judge is always I remember very clearly that I was watching the Mavericks versus Denver Nuggets game.
Oh yeah.
It was like it was like a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Two great teams last season and this season. Maybe Mavericks not so much, fucking COVID. But I was watching. It was like a nail biter game. It was always close, whatever. And like halfway through the game, they come out and they're like, "Hey, like this is gonna be the last game
of the season.
The rest of the games for the entire season have been canceled / postponed." And I was like, "What?" And then they showed the clip from, I think it was like the Oklahoma City Thunder game and whoever they were playing, but like one of the coaching staff on OKC had tested positive for coronavirus, and like right before tip off, like somebody runs out to the refs and was like whispering in their ear, and then right then the refs like called off the game.
Yeah.
And like we're halfway through the Mavericks game, and they're like, "There's gonna be no more basketball," which I mean, like I completely understand. I'm not complaining that it wasn't basketball.
It was just
crazy that
intense.
And, I was like, that's insane.
I mean, like nothing like that has like happened during our lifetime.
Yeah.
I know there's been.
Yeah, last time that anything happened like with the NBA was like when Jordan played the strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wasn't alive for that.
Right. It was just very surprising, I guess.
Yeah, it was very surprising, and that's what I mean. Like we had been like I think we said it. We've been tracking COVID since it was only in China.
Yeah, our coworkers thought we were like those like one of those like conspiracy theorist kind of guys. You know that meme where there's like strings all connected behind him, and he's like hitting his hand on the wall, and like that's the meme. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's a very popular one, but it's fine. But it's pretty much like you're about to say something like crazy.
Are you talking about Charlie Day?
Yeah.
They're not. Oh, they are strings.
Yeah, they're strings.
You should have said Charlie Day.
Well, I forgot his name, and I thought you would.
You should have said from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways.
That meme.
So, anyways, that very popular meme that you obviously knew, didn't have to be rude about.
I still don't think they're strings.
They're strings.
Look it up. I in my head they're dry erase. Dryer. It's like whiteboards and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, but it's not like we were.
I was in the middle of saying something, so you can wait.
Okay.
It's strings. Here you go.
Let me see. Is it strings? It's not that many strings.
It's strings. It's all the papers.
Okay.
Anyways,
let's say
so
it's okay. Yeah,
it's
sure.
that meme.
There are strings.
It's that meme. So, anyways, in the early days of COVID, Justin and I don't know how much you were doing at work, but I had that Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, the Johns Hopkins.
map pretty much pulled up all the time and would refresh it and talk to my coworkers about like the implications of the rates and how accurate the data was and blah blah blah. And I swear they thought I was this person, Charlie Day, some conspiracy theorist, like just like talking about this like unknown sickness that's never gonna come to the States. And I was just like,
right.
I was just over here like, it's gonna happen.
Well, because that was like the thing. It's like, one, coronaviruses is family viruses, and they're around.
Right.
We've known about it for a while. It just not a lot of contact between how humans could get it and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I read this paper after coronavirus came out. It was a paper written in 2007, and it was talking about coronavirus, and it said, the amount of coronavirus the amount of different like coronaviruses in animals in China mixed with the wet markets, it's like a disaster waiting to happen. I was like, well, you fucking called it.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like we were like running about and it's like, oh, it's gonna be crazy. Like, like everybody's gonna be working from home and we're gonna have to wear masks. And
no,
we were just
we
like,
didn't see any of that. We were just like,
this is wild.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna come here. What's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we know now, but
yeah, because it's not like it wasn't in the news or anything.
Right.
They were just like, hey, like, this is happening, but like that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I guess based on really based on the government in China, doing whatever they do, and then our government here doing whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
There's
a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
A lot of de-escalation of response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not great.
Yeah. But COVID was like, I mean, like honestly, what else? I mean, I know we did other things in 2020 because it didn't start until like mid-March is when like the NBA shut down. That's my benchmark. Is like when it like became really serious was mid-March. Right. I mean, in January we were on our honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we got back and we were like figuring out like paperwork. You were changing your name.
Yeah,
we were doing stuff like that.
I was going to a lot of government offices to change my name.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't wait till after COVID because
that would have been crazy.
Probably never would have done it.
Yeah, right. That was kind of like the only thing, and then it was like, okay, now we need to get back into work, and like,
right,
we've been away for a while, and so like, and then they completely fucking changed.
Right.
Yeah. So that was 2020. Looking, 2019's not looking any different currently.
2019.
2020.
Did we just go back in time?
God, I don't hope so. Honestly, people are like, I wish it was like back in time when like Corona. I'm like, no,
just go forward.
Just go forward. I worked too hard and went through too much shit to go back in time. Not at least right now.
To then have to redo it. It's like, no.
But yeah, that was 2020. 2021, it's not looking much different in terms of COVID. Numbers are still going up, whatever. Mm-hmm. I guess, like, at least in America, we'll have a lot of official changes, government officials changing very soon.
Very soon, tomorrow.
Yeah. Or
day
today.
The podcast comes out, yeah. Yeah. Today. A lot of changes.
Yeah, and then we'll see if that, it's going to be hard because like it's already so prevalent. It's already so much out there.
Yeah, it's not like a new administration is automatically the cases are just going to drop. Like, there's a lot of work that has to be done.
Because even in other countries, their numbers still going up. Some countries, some smaller countries have gotten it really under control. Mm-hmm. Whatever. So we touched on it a little earlier, but what are your resolutions?
Okay, well, we talked about earlier how we were dieting. But I think in general, what I want to do is have more of a routine. And so I didn't want to look at more of like single resolutions of something to do every day or whatever. I wanted it to be more of, I would have a routine in general. Like I get up and do this in the morning, go to work, come home. It's proving a little difficult with my work schedule.
Yes.
But at least we've been kind of doing pretty well in the morning, I would say.
We have. I'm surprised you didn't say that. I mean, first and foremost, it should be waking up when your alarm goes off.
You see, I don't wake up to it, so
then quit
that
setting
doesn't
it
help.
because it's so annoying.
Well, you told me to set one.
No,
So
I want you to set an alarm, but not the bedtime whatever thing that you have.
I don't know why you hate it so much.
I'll tell you why I hate it.
Okay. Your voice broke because you're so mad.
Yeah, I wake up angry every single day because of this.
Well, I don't understand. It's like the calmest alarm
That's what
ever.
sucks about it.
Why?
Okay, so my alarm, it's a very jarring piano riff, and it's loud as hell, and I immediately wake up when I hear it. Now, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yours, it's so subtle, and it's such like a nice piano. It's if I was listening to it during the day, I'm like, this is nice and calming, whatever. But it starts out, and when it finally gets, it starts off really soft, and when it finally gets loud enough for me to actually wake up, I realize I've been hearing it for a while, and I'm already annoyed. That's why I hate it. And then you don't wake up to it.
Yeah, I can't wake up to it at all.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Apple on the last update came out with this thing where you could set like your sleep schedule.
Yeah, it's like, I sleep 10:30 to 6:30.
And it'll automatically set an alarm for you based on what your sleep schedule is. However, all of the options in the automatic alarm are not the same noise options as you have
Yeah.
in the clock app.
I did notice
they're
that.
all like super peaceful. Like that's the most annoying one.
We'll
But
just
also
disable that whole thing.
But also the piano riff thing. My brain, my sleeping brain is very smart. I used to sleepwalk a lot when I was young.
You still do it, and it's
I know.
creepy.
I know. I don't do it as much.
Yeah, you don't do it
It's
as
like
much.
if I'm exhausted.
But there was 2
I'll
times,
sleepwalk.
like maybe like 3 months ago, that you did it like twice in 1 week, and it was one time you just like you walked across the house and you went to just sleep in here in this living room,
Yeah.
in our studio instead of
so
our
weird.
bedroom. But then one time you got out of bed and woke me up, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Because I thought you were going to the bathroom, and you started walking out of the bedroom. I'm like, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
And I was like yelling at you, and then I just hear from like the living room, "What?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "Why am I in here?" I'm like, "I don't know." That was weird.
That was weird. I remember, I think what like made me wake up was I like dropped the gate or something because we have like little dog gates.
Yeah.
And so I think I was like walking and I knocked over one of the gates and it was so loud that I started waking up, and then I was like on the couch and I was like, what the fuck? Where am I?
Yeah. That's the loudest noise. Oh, any loud noise that you make it during the day, yes, it's a loud noise. But you make it in the still of night.
Yeah,
it's so much louder and so much scarier. Yeah.
Well, anyways, what I was saying about the piano riff is my sleeping brain is very focused on sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think my sleeping brain has trained itself to know the piano riff noise and sleep even harder when it hears it. Because I cannot wake up to that stupid piano riff thing. Like, I will just not even open my eyes. I've gotten to that point, and Justin gets so mad about it.
You know what I think?
Huh?
I think it's just an excuse.
I'm serious. Because Justin's over here like, like, because sometimes I'll set it on my phone, because sometimes at night I'll ask Justin if he's set an alarm for the next day, and he won't respond. Like, he's awake,
No,
but
no.
he's just like,
I'm not.
maybe. Or
What?
I'll ask or he'll say yes, and I'll ask what time, and he'd be like, I don't know, maybe you should set your own. Like, some
Yeah.
shit like that. He gets really annoying
Well,
when
it's
he's
because like,
tired.
no. I'm not awake in bed. I'm in bed asleep, and she comes in and just starts talking to me. Like halfway through her question, I wake up, and like that's the thing. It's like I wake up and I realize you've been talking to me for a while, and I'm annoyed. I'm like, why are you talking to me? I'm asleep. You want an alarm set? Set your own alarm. I don't understand.
So I'll set it, and I'll set it to something that I know he'll wake up to.
I will wake up to anything.
But then he'll be like pushing me to like turn off the alarm. Apparently it's been going off for a couple minutes, and I'm like, I didn't hear any of that shit.
Yeah, I'm like, turn it off. It's so annoying.
Yeah, my brain's like, that's Justin's alarm. Stay asleep. You don't want to wake up.
That's the exact opposite of what you need to do. You hear an alarm, like I should get up.
Maybe I need to change up the tune every
We need
now
to just tie it into our smoke alarms.
Oh God.
That'll wake you up.
Oh God, no. Did we ever put that one back up?
What?
Did you ever fix
The smoke alarms? The smoke alarms are fine. The smoke alarms have never been.
They were just going off so often when we first moved in.
Yeah, and I fixed that.
Oh, I don't remember.
Well, all of them are still up. It was just like, it was like this little gnat that kept flying in and out of one of our smoke. Like all of our smoke detectors are either wired together, or they just have like, if they hear another one going off, they also
then they
go off.
And so then it becomes like this chain reaction, and they're all going off, not like in synchrony.
Yeah, and it's the loudest. And here's the thing, like I said before, when there's a loud noise that happens during the day, yeah, it's loud. But when it happens in the still of night, it's loud and it's also scary. So those just like start going off, and like I can see out of our bedroom door, and it's just pitch black, but then the loudest of noise. I'm like, I don't want to go out there and turn it off. It's scary.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. That sucked. I hated that. Because it just kept happening for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, it was, well, not a couple weeks, a couple days.
Well, it seems like it was forever. It was so painful.
But I finally found it because it was that stupid gnat, and it didn't happen after that. I think what the lesson we can learn from 2020 to 2021 is that, 2020 sucks, is like, you kind of have no control over
your life.
Your life. Yeah. And, 2021's not going to be any different. But there's always, you can't change the things that happen to you, but you can change how you react to them. And that's kind of my thing for... Why are you smiling?
Because it was such a cliche thing to say.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I think, in 2020, I definitely let it get the best of me.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, all right, it is what it is. I understand it, but I have to make what I can of it.
Right.
And I think that's as much as we can do in 2021.
It's a good goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else to add? No?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Pretty good, nice little
catch up
of the years. Little not soul searching, little a little tiny bit intellectual, tiny bit deep.
Yeah, tiny.
You don't think so? I said a tiny.
Tiny. Yeah, you're right. Tiny bit.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. We hope you had a great time, and we'll see you in another one. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.